Yeah, this is Bob McElvain of the McElvain Company, and I'm here this afternoon to talk to you about Pharma Prospects. And it's a $1,600 service, or for $2,500, you can have everybody in your company sharing it, although each one has to have a personal ID and password. But what it does is it gives you the information on all of the 1,000 top pharmaceutical plants in the world. You've got as much as twice a week we're putting out newsletters. We have profiles of the companies, and all of this then ties in to market forecasts that we can also provide you, that would provide for valves, pumps, filters, mixers, any of these items, IIoT, would give you a forecast at every plant. But for your salespeople all over the world to have this and be able to see the developments in each of their major clients, as well as by the country and region, if there's a regional manager he wants to see what's going on country by country. So that's the way the whole thing works. And as you can see, these come out once or twice a week. And let's just hit on this December 28th alert, or here's the January 4th alert. But you can see that there are product information. And again, this gets into all the air, water, and energy products, and then the projects, and then into the markets. And these are fairly detailed analyses. They're not just trivial, and you get a lot of detail here as to what is being analyzed and discussed, and what might be the advantages of certain things like these particular pumps that are low pulsing and so forth here. So, and then we do get into this project information. The other nice thing about it is there are, you can see all the previous issues going back for several years. Another way to look at it is by headline. So if you're just interested in projects, okay, here's for one part of the week, here's these projects, and then sequentially, here's the projects, November, Durst, and so forth here. Markets, projects. So you can go just through December 21st, and then continuing down. This is a pretty long one here, actually, into the December 3rd and so forth here. So you can look at all the headlines this way, but what's particularly useful is in conjunction with our profiles that have the details on the companies, you can get updated just by typing in the name of a prospect. If I misspelled Pfizer. Here, we'll go back and get that corrected here. And you can see that we have 88 articles just on Pfizer, and this is March 2021 here, but you go back up if you want to sort by date. Let's sort by date instead, and you see that we have information here that is current as of yesterday. These are a couple Pfizer articles right off the bat that were in the alert yesterday. So this keeps you up to date. For your regional people, you may just want to go in by area. So we just had someone asking us about Switzerland, and we showed them this fact that we have about 55 articles on Switzerland, which and there's lots, and all these other companies are doing a lot. So there's a lot of opportunity there as well. So this is a way to for your people at the lowest through the highest levels of the organization to be kept up to date on the developments. The other thing we're doing is going into the profiles, and so here are profiles on the various companies, and here is one, for instance, on CSL. Now they're the largest supplier of blood plasma fractionation products in the world. And so another new initiative we have is to flush out for every segment of pharma, including blood plasma fractionation, all the technology as well as the players in that. And for instance, their revenues are in the neighborhood of $8 billion, in which albumin is over $1 billion. And so the global market for their products is over 36 billion, and albumin is about 4 billion. So they have about 25% of the albumin market, and they are a dominant market in the rest of the fractionation industry as well, with about a 25 or 30% market share for all the blood plasma products worldwide. So this is a profile of them, and we have these the major companies, and then what the products that they have is obviously assessing the opportunities to know what products they are developing, what products that they have are all important. And let's move on to projects. The older projects that appeared in the Pharma Prospects are conveniently periodically summarized in the profiles. So this gets into the ones up to recent. This is actually a profile that was just completed, so it does have the most recent project information in it. And we do get into the manufacturing. Our forte is understanding the mixers, the pumps, the fans, the clean rooms, the clothing, gloves, and mixers, and all the other air, water, energy related equipment, products, and services that goes into this. And the locations of their plants are shown in this summary profile, and of course the details of particular projects we were just looking at. So if we can move on then and show a little bit more of what is in the system. So you got these profiles, and let's move on now to the overview. And we have a forecast of the air, water, and energy opportunities in pharma. If you click on this, you will see that these are things where we're also providing the market forecast. So how big is the consumables, the market, apparel, wipes, and so forth? What about your prime movers, fans and compressors, filtration, air treatment, and then flow valves and pumps, and we have probably close to 50,000 forecasts just on valves for the pharmaceutical industry, every type of valve, and in each country and so forth there. And then we get into how much of this is what is in process versus intake, and et cetera. And then we go into revenues by service type. Now, we are moving forward to do an in-depth analysis in each one of these areas. So we were just looking at blood plasma, for instance. But depending on whether it's a liquid or a solid, and using that kind of categorization, there are all these different segments that we'll be looking at or are already looking at. And then by therapy type, and also by the process equipment type, because a lot of the valves and some of the pumps and so forth are also a function. Filters are also a function of how much drying there is, which would be your fabric filters, and, how much bioreactors and so forth for the pumps. So this is all part of the program as well. So let's move back then to the Pharma IIoT. This is a whole program that we have basically to take each one of these segments. And so we talk about winning orders at the 1,000 largest pharmaceutical companies. But right now we have this initiative to help suppliers understand and reach out to the fractionators themselves. So we have what we call a industrial Internet of Wisdom, IIoT, in other words, IIoW causation loop, that by bringing in together the suppliers, the customers, the consultants, and the media, that we can bring down the cost of ownership for somebody like a fractionator or a vaccine manufacturer, and at the same time increase the EBITDA of the suppliers. But all this is based on being able to understand all these processes, to share this information, and for the suppliers to come up with better solutions based on that knowledge that they have. And so then in terms of these applications, we have a detailed dive on blood fractionation. Show you that in a second here. But we have all these articles going in. Here is one on going into the IFN, which is International Filtration News. And this covers the depth filters, the centrifuges, the chromatography, and all the other types of filtration and separation. We have another one going into Valve World this month, Pump Engineer, looking at all that, hose and coupling that gets into, most of the, say, in a fractionation facility, it's a maze of hoses there. A lot of the peristaltic pumps have hoses and so forth. And we're also writing in Stainless Steel World and evaluating the single use, which reduces the stainless versus the very large operations, which still have our benefit from using stainless steel and clean in place. So these are the types of things that we're doing there. The understanding of all this equipment and helping these suppliers is in each of these areas is something that we're into as well. So here's the one on fractionation, and we have others completed, such as vaccines and so forth, and we're pursuing others to get this full understanding of all these applications, what the markets are, what's going on in the segmentations. It's pretty complicated here in fractionation because you've got the plasma separated from the red blood, and then you've got the products that are made from the plasma. And each of those has different criteria in terms of the air, water, energy products. And then, just a simple diagrams of how this all, what is the plasma and what are all the products, and then down to all the different suppliers and what they are doing. So for instance, here's Eaton on depth filters, and there's a complex selection that's needed on the depth filters. You can see just from some of their slides here how many options there are. So that is another important part of the program. So we are bringing together the consultants, the suppliers, the end users, and hopefully helping to bring down cost of ownership as we move into these new challenges for the pharmaceutical industry. But a starting point is certainly for your sales force is to have the Pharma Prospects, and we look forward to answering any more questions you might have on it. My name is Bob McElvain, and you can contact me at 847-226-2391, and we'd be happy to talk to you about this and some of our other related. Thank you for taking your time today.